Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's Creative Redundancy back again. I'm here with a special edition of this live with CR. And there's no place like home. And welcome to my little cool chat. I'm going to reconnect with you folks out there and share some winter stories. Little tips every so often as I think about them. So hopefully everyone's doing well out there. Why is CR even doing this one specifically today? Barely gave any notification. Is because it actually snowed. And actually, there's snow out west and there's snow out east. Though there's a lot more snow out east than out west, that's for sure. So this stream is going to be more focused on the snow aspect of it, not necessarily the cold aspects, although I'll touch base on those too. Hey, Teresa, how are you doing? Yeah, you're listen, doing dishes. Okay. So hopefully everyone's doing well. I turned down the background music on this one, so you should be able to hear me. Wearing a headset. I'm actually outside, technically, while doing this. Maybe you'll inspire me to remember a few things. I do actually have some coffee in a thermos nearby, as I'll probably want to dip into that eventually. And I figured I'd do this stream anyways. So yeah, snow. So not every place gets snow, but for those places that do get snow, consider the things I'm saying. All right, in some places you get more snow than I get here. That's for sure. Where I'm talking about like feet of snow, and just inches or centimeters, but feet or meters or meter of snow. 1 meter equals 3.28 feet, by the way, for everyone in the U.S. Oh, and 2.54 centimeters equals 1 inch. A little conversion in there for all you folks out there. Save you the time of searching up or Googling that. So yes, for everyone that hasn't noticed, like kind of the last several videos I've done, excluding the live streams, a few of the shorts are kind of related to winter. If anyone hasn't noticed that, I put out the shorts back in December, did pretty great for what it was. That was actually the first snowfall that I received. Although that footage was back in October. So yes, hopefully everyone's doing great like I asked in that shorts. For anyone who hasn't seen that one yet. It's something I thought it's kind of funny. Serious note. Besides, it's always nice to remember your followers and see how they're doing too. Like you folks out there. I got some work coming in. Hello, Holly. What's up, James? Virtual fist bump to ya. You're cooking too? You guys are all cooking? Okay. Right, have some coffee. Actually, get the coffee. Yeah, I got a thermos nearby. Thermos is nice and handy in the wintertime. Keeps your coffee nice and cold. Warm. Just make sure you don't spill it, especially over your clothes. Oh yeah, nothing like warm brew to pick up your morale in the wintertime. So yeah, make sure you don't spill it, especially over yourself. Because, wet clothes in the middle of winter don't really mix well, especially the colder it is. No, like I said earlier, it actually snowed here today. So I actually had to go shovel. I actually helped up someone with the shoveling. I went up to them, I'm like, I know how we shovel. And they're like, no, you don't have to see her. I'm like, yeah, but I want to. kind of said like in a kind of friendly tone. It's the Canadian thing to do, right? Something that it reminded me of a couple weeks back. One of the previous videos I posted about a snow story. Everyone hasn't seen that video. Very short, about a minute and a half or whatever, right? So it reminded me of that. Actually, that's actually the first time it snowed since that time. As I posted that snow story about, I don't know, 5 days after it actually snowed. Although I wasn't originally posted but on YouTube, but I changed my mind. Especially since I got pretty good reception over on the Instagram side for showing it as real. What's up, kid dog? How are you doing, man? Appreciate you dropping by. I guess you had some time, eh? Cool. What's up, SD? How's it going, Scott? How are you doing, man? Hopefully you're doing well. For not scheduling this, you guys seem to want to hear me talk about snow. I just realized that. Maybe I should do this more often. No. But yeah, there is snow outside. I'm just trying to top off my phone a little bit before getting it. Kind of show some snow. I figure I actually show some real snow, right? Not just hear me talk about it. Yeah, I see some of the birds outside though. Pretty active right now during the daytime. So yeah, there's like snow in the U.S., snow here in Canada, out east too on the Atlantic side. We just got back, pretty much done that kind of extreme cold that blanketed most of the western part of the continent a couple weeks back. So sure seems like earlier in the winter, like when the winter season kind of started, like around that, let's say November time, December time, it was relatively mild, relatively speaking, right? A couple days above freezing too. Sure looks like this back half of the winter season is a lot colder and a lot more snowier. Snowier? Is snowier a word? Well, okay, where we had more snow? Because it sure seems like it. Because now it seems like we've got more snow in the back half of the season than the first half of the season. Although, of course, we do need the snow, right? Snow feeds the mountains, areas, and stuff like that, and, we get that. Refills the rivers and the lakes around the area, around places out west here and such, right? So eventually we do need it. And I was kind of right about what I was saying to my friend earlier back in December. I'm like, I'm pretty sure we're not gonna be able to dodge the snow or the cold for long. And I was like, yep, we're not. It's just an eventuality that it's going to happen. It just happens that it's less frequent this time around. Unlike other years that it could be more frequent. Let's see where am I at here? I wasn't saying hi. Yeah, short day for you, SD. Yeah. Let the bush cooler in the winter. Stuff it in the snow. Okay, yeah. Easy winter. Yeah, easy. Except for the last couple of weeks, yeah. Or last couple of years. What's up, Gray? How are you doing? Yeah, well, SD, I'll tell you guys now. Out on the Atlantic side here in Canada here, I'm talking about Nova Scotia, PEI, Prince Edward Island, on the Atlantic side. Kind of north of New York City, north of Maine, and all that stuff. Some of these places got like 3 feet of snow, 1 meter of snow with snow drifts too. There's pictures and video out there, right, of the weather out there. You know, people posting or whatever, right? I seen some of them, and some of the drifts are huge, right? Like someone walks outside, and it's like they just disappeared in the snowbank, kind of deal, or it's like waist height. And I'm talking about from a person that's probably like 6 feet tall, right? So yeah, 3 feet, one, well, just over 3 feet, 1 meter of snow in some places, not in all places. I think it depends on the drift of snow, but some places received a lot more, or got more snow, or it seemed like it because the snow drift started to pile up. You know, I was watching this quick clip about something, and this person, I think they live in Prince Edward Island. I think it's Charlottetown. But it's the same area. But they're like, yeah, we took a couple breaks every so often. We went back inside to recuperate, and I think he was being sarcastic. I don't think he was being serious, but he's like, yeah, we went on YouTube to look up some if we could find out some tricks to use. But that was kind of funny. I'm like, well, you know, really tried them out. You know, if you found out some tips or whatever, you know, or someone said something, it's like, oh, you know what? There's snow outside. Now's a good time to try these out, right? While it's actually happening, right? Really put them to this. Let's see if this actually works. People have been saying this or whatever, right? Let's see, we're online. It's really, yeah, I read your comment, James, in there. Let's see that. It's 40 for you. So that's about, let's see, 4 or 5 Celsius. It's below freezing here, though. Yeah. I feel a little bit warmer with all you folks in here now. That's for sure. Oh, and the clothing I'm wearing is helping too. South Florida. How are you doing? Well, yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, I've been talking to some other people like down in the southern hemisphere or warmer places. They're like, it's too hot over here, CR. You know, they're saying it's like in the 90s, you know, above 30 Celsius. I was just like, I said to them, I'm like, pass me some heat. And their response on the side chat was, pass me some cold, CR. I'm like, then I said, I'll meet you halfway at 20, like 1621 Celsius, 60-70 Fahrenheit. I said to them. They're like, deal. You know, that kind of Goldilocks zone. Meet you in the middle thing. That was kind of funny. He said that. It'd be funny if they actually dropped in too. Oh yeah. I can imagine so. SD. Well, the reason why that actually works, especially in extreme cold, is because the difference from the boiling hot water to that outside temperature, and you're throwing it up in the air, and you're increasing the surface area so much that it's just like increasing the surface area for something to cool down. So hence it can, especially if it's cold enough, it will actually freeze before it hits the ground. Depending how high it is, and depending how much water it is, depending how hot it is, the water is, and depending how cold it is. But if all those factors come together, ideally, it is possible to do that. Because that's why you always see it going being from up in the air, because it increases the surface area because it spreads it out. And you know what happens when you increase the surface area? It's like the difference between like if you curl up in like a little ball in the fetal position with your hands by your chest, your knees by your chest, right? You feel a little bit warmer. But if you spread out, open up your armpits, open up your legs, it's a little bit cooler because you've increased the surface area, allow more of that heat to escape. What's up, Dave? I see you in there. How are you doing, man? Appreciate you dropping by. That's it. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Extreme. That change between the water, air, water temperature. Yeah, exactly. That's how it works. The permafrost is so deep in the village. To use sewer lines, I want to use the bucket in a truck with cone and take it from the porch. I got a job pouring it into the tanker. Ah, nice. But you quit after a week. It's like, yeah. So yeah, that's what piggybacking what SD said. That's why you don't try to stay dry in the winter time, especially if it's cold. You're shoveling snow, remember? Try not to break a sweat. Like, just yesterday at this time it felt colder. So when it came outside, I looked at the temperature. It was relatively the same. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll wear a little bit more, right? I not quite breaking a sweat yet, but it was like on the onset of like eventually breaking a sweat. So I slowed down my activity, opened up my zipper, let some air in, right? Cool me down a little, right? So that helped a bit. Because apparently this snow that I got was a little bit heavier than I realized it was. It wasn't really fluffy. It seemed not really heavy snow, but it's not light and fluffy snow. So there must have been more water in it than usual. Because usually, like I said, fluffy snow usually has more air in it versus, wet snow that has more water in it, hence it's heavier, harder to push, harder to travel through, harder to shovel, harder to move because it's physically heavier, and yeah. I mean, it's not like slushy or snowball type of snow, but there is more water in it than fluffy snow, anyways. So yes, I was, it's funny. I quickly took a look. See, I actually have the SSA survival guide. I looked at the index. I like under winter or what it said. Like, I forget what page it was on. 70 something. I just read something real quick that says, keep improving on your shelter, and when possible, try to make improvements on your gloves or make your gloves better. I'm like, I'm trying to remember if I read that before I made the last video. For anyone that hasn't caught that last video that I just posted a couple days ago, you might find it useful information to consider. They're actually right beside me. They're right beside my phone right now. So, but it's something I made with a pair of gloves. 2 left-handed gloves. One of my comments, it'd be funny if they actually joined the stream right now, but one of the comments said, I didn't know this was possible. I'm paraphrasing a little, but an exaggerating voice, but I didn't know it was possible, Sierra. I'm like, well, you know what? I just happened to just try it out. I had the resource available, I had the tools to doing it, and I had the skills to put it together, and I'm like, let's try this out. So, and I'm like, it's opened up my eyes to maybe new possibilities of things. So it seems. See how I snuck that in there? Yeah, for everyone that knows me, I like to sneak those in there every so often, right? You know me. I'm just on a quick way to show you guys here. Phone's at 84, but I'm pretty sure I won't have that. My battery's right on bring down. Okay. Oh, put it to the back. All right. Snow. Snow. Then I got about, I don't know, half a foot on the ground. I've gotten less snow this season than typically. Usually my snowbank is much higher than what I have here. Just half that I had to make. Yeah, I got snow boots on. It's not that cold out, but since I'm gonna be outside for a little bit, I wear them inside. I'm going through the snow like this. Right? Yeah. You can't notice this one, but let's just say I usually put the tomatoes here. I usually put the tomatoes here, by the way. This is actually the bed that I have them in, usually. Oh, wait. Let me just put something in the snow. Yeah, you can tell. Ooh, that's cold on the finger. You know, in that, like, couple minutes, I just showed that, and unplugged my phone, my battery already dropped like 4%. Yeah, your battery drops quite fast in the cold, especially in winter time, so you gotta keep it warm or keep it plugged in or both. So every so often I'll show a little bit more. Okay, 5%. I was at 84, now I'm at 79. So yeah. Yeah. But yeah. What's I say here? So yeah, take winter seriously, or at least the cold parts of it, right? You know, if you gotta shovel snow or whatever, I know some people have to do that, or is that right? You know, do it in stages or gradually, whenever possible, especially if you're doing it by hand. I mean, even if you have stuff to use, machinery, snowblower, something what I've shown before that uses mechanical advantage for shoveling snow, a brush head, or whatever, that kind of stuff, right? If it's deep enough, you may, or if it's coming down fast enough, you may actually have to come back on several passes. Especially important if you're doing it by hand, or using something that has a mechanical advantage, like a lever, which I've shown back in 2017. I think it was 2017 or 2018 when you do. I actually still have it, by the way. And it's quite useful. But I usually pass it a couple of layers for it, you know, go halfway in and come back on another pass on it, right? Instead of trying to remove it all at once. Especially if it's wet snow. Because it'll definitely be heavy. You know, and trying not to break a sweat and all that stuff. You know, if you're using a snowblower or something like that, like you guys are. Oh, I gotta move this out of place. Snowblower, something like this, right? This is considered one stage. And when you have something like this at the top that shoots it back out or breaks it back out, it's a second stage. So this is actually a two-stage snowblower. These would be spinning around, breaking the snow, and the chute would be shooting it, 10, 15 feet away, 10 feet in the air and such. Whew. Oh, yeah. I mean, as the skunk, if you're really coming inside, and no point in getting the carpet dirty or the floor dirty, necessarily, right? Especially if you gotta clean up later, right? So just a little mitigation by removing it outside, right? You know, I have something like that too. I've shown that a while ago. So yeah, does help. Let's see, where am I? Hey, anything's possible, right? So anything's possible, right, Sunshine? Could happen. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. So yeah, I didn't. The snowblower wasn't fired up today. Didn't need to. Not this time around. Just did it by hand. Just did it by hand and with mechanical advantage, using wheels and a lever or lever. And I've shown this before, by the way. So such. So it's quite useful. So I have multiple options for snow removal, just in case. I've actually been thinking ever since I built this everything, just as scrap parts. It's on the channel, but you can go check it out. I forget what I named it, but probably has snow removal in the title somewhere in the title or in the description. But I just made that from scratch after seeing some commercial items available. I'm like, let's see what I can just do with scraps, right? You know, I didn't have the money at that time or whatever to buy a commercial unit. I'm like, and I tried it out, and ever since I've been using it for a while now. It always comes out every winter season. My friends that visit me, you're actually seeing it in action in Mark several times. I've actually used. Actually, it has actually technically is one of the very few things that I've actually made that actually have made me money because I actually I got paid for the snow removal, and I was using it to do it amongst other things, right? I mean, I used it in I think about 1.5, 2 feet of snow, give or take. Now, granted, anything done by hand will never be as fast or as powerful as a snowblower because it's the way it is, right? Because snowblower is automated versus, right? However, unlike a snowblower, doing it by hand or using mechanical advantage to do the work doesn't rely on quote unquote moving parts, fuel, right? So, because sometimes things happen or whatever, right? Oh, by the way, for anyone I haven't told this story before, I actually almost once, only once, it was minor, but hear me out. I almost caught a snowblower on fire once. It's smoking heavily, it like almost started to sneeze, right? I just like my first quick reaction, turn off the snowblower, obviously, right? Cut the power, right? And I buried it in snow with a shovel, one of my shovels that I had nearby, because I was just like, and I put it way to the side, off to the side, right? I was just like don't get me wrong, it's all good now, but at that time that was kind of dicey, right? I'm like, this first thing I thought of, I'm like, not water but snow, right? And remove the air from use the snow to suffocate that burn. So I was just like, yeah. Oh, and that's using one of my mechanical advantage shovels I have, or what I use for shoveling. I managed to bury it in snow, the top of the snowblower, really fast. I'm actually, it actually worked quite well. I mean, so because it removed the air from the, and it cooled it down, right? So I'm cooling it down, right? Obviously, cold or coolness, lack of oxygen or air, you know, flame, fire or smoke or whatever is not going to escalate more because it's cooling down and it's losing that airflow and stuff. Something that I noticed one time, only once. Hopefully that'll never happen again, because that was kind of dicey that time. That was really dicey. I was just like, "Ooh, that could have been bad. That could have been bad." Yeah. Now it's a craftsman. Actually, so this one, I see. The 2-stage one is also one. Craftsman. I mean, it's got power assist. Like, if you had power assist or to move forward like a lawnmower would, on like a push mower. Right? So I used to have a shorter 1-stage one, but yeah, I'll use this if absolutely necessary, right? Because sometimes I'll just push the snow to hand shovel and push the snow to the side and pick it up with snowblower or something like that after the fact, right? Shoveling snow depends on how much area you have, right? A driveway, sidewalk, pathways, or whatever you got to clear. Some people actually have to clear more, so they have more, let's just say, bigger machinery to do that, right? But, there's a point why we still have hand shovels, right? Just some places, some areas, like, not necessarily sidewalk, but like a back deck or something like that. You'll probably just shovel it by hand, right? Maybe if it's deep, use one of these small 1-stage snow blowers, right? Or leaf blower or something like that. If it isn't too heavy, the snow itself. Yeah. Hey, it's Farmerside. Hey, FSP, how are you doing, my friend? How are you doing out there? Hopefully you're doing well. So I just realized that I'm talking about winter time, and I'm seeing a lot of people and channels come by that don't get snow a lot. I just noticed that. Or then there's the other half of the people that actually have seen snow or do get snow on a regular basis. Yeah, you're doing good. Speak. Good. Nice to see you, by the way. Yes. It's just that coming. Yeah, everyone's warming up for the sunshine conversation. You guys are having that side channel conversation about the warmth to kind of melt my snow topic here a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, speak of which, that reminds me. Which remember, soon, eventually, in time, the snow will melt. Hopefully not all at once, where it just floods out an area, but hopefully it's more gradual. Hopefully, right? Because it's actually when you got a lot of snow and you got that huge increase of temperature, sunny skies above 50 Fahrenheit, 10 Celsius. I mean, I've seen snow on the ground when it's like over 60 Fahrenheit, 16 degrees Celsius before. I've seen that. I mean, there's not much of it, but it is melting, right? So, because if you have a lot of snow or a significant amount of snow, and you get this dramatic increase in temperature, that snow melts really quickly, right? It tends to run off the surface more than soak into the ground, right? Replenish our groundwater supplies, underground aquifers that we have in areas around, not just here, but probably, well, in our places, our provinces, our states, and probably other countries too. I imagine, right? I imagine that all that snow that turns into water goes somewhere, right? Hopefully it'll help for the springtime, right? But remember, water is important, so water equals life. So snow, we kind of need it still. I know some people don't like it. No one likes to shovel, but no one wants to clear their vehicles and such, right? Yeah, I get that. But I always remember the other side of the equation. When you were younger, and you get to go skating, tobogganing. There's water in the lake from the snow melt off from the springtime still kind of get to remember that part of it, right? Every time when you're like, why do I have to walk in the snow? Why do I have to shovel the snow? Let's remember the other side of the equation whenever possible. At least I try to. I'm just reading what you guys are talking about real quick. Just because I'm not posting, showing them on the screen, I am reading. That's why I'm a little bit behind the chat a little bit here. Alright. Take care, SD. I'll catch you later, man. Okay, yes. And SD is sliding out here. You didn't see my spirit fingers doing that. It would have been funny. How come my phone's not going up? I swear it feels like I even have like airplane mode on. I'm not using cellular, only Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. I'm still. Oh my gosh! I guess I decided to charge my phone a little bit higher. It's not even that cold outside, but for me personally, but for the phone itself, tech rating. So I'll let it charge a little bit more before I show a little bit more here. Let's see, about half an hour. Yeah, all right. So yeah. Okay, open the door here. Like I said, it looks like in the back half of the season, I've gotten more snow than the first half of the season. That's for sure. A lot more snow, and colder temperatures. Although usually it's like that most of the time. Like the previous year actually wasn't really, because the cold actually came in December, but this time of year, the cold came in January. And it looks like we're getting more snow in January and February this year already, in comparison to like December and November of 2020 for me. Because technically, the first snow day here was back in October for me. Oh, by the way, speaking of this, that reminds me, I actually, for anyone that hasn't seen that sunflower video that I posted about the small container garden, let's just say that sunflower, that grew in the container, actually loves snow. I actually took a picture. I showed a couple of people where it wasn't really a selfie per se with it, but basically I had a sunflower with snow behind it in the background. I was just like, that just seems ironic, right? And I think, I don't think I've ever seen a real sunflower with real snow behind it. You know, it's like literally like days before it wasn't on the ground, and now it is, right? So I have a sunflower blooming wide open, right? Blooming, snow in the background. Or maybe it's Canadian thing, or maybe I just said that. I just thought that was kind of funny. This blanket of white snow and with a sunflower in front of it. Yeah. I think that kind of said to me, I'm like, yeah, I think gardening season's done. I think it's done for the season. Right. So, actually, yeah. Ooh. Hey, Megan. How are you doing? Oh, nice to see you too. I've seen you in a hot minute. It's not even that bad, Megan. Really, this is warmer than the last couple times I've talked about snow or cold. And now, I'm not saying it's not like warm and sunny out, because it's not. It's like freezing, I know that. You can see your breath. Barely wind, and it's overcast though. There is no indication of blue sky anywhere, so yeah, it's overcast though. It's mostly mainly cloudy. It just snowed this morning. I just had to shovel this morning at like 9 o'clock in the morning. super layer. Let's see. Have you seen a short on how a certain curve, what you failed to win tonight might be all you have a chart. Oh, no, I have not seen anything like that. I've seen any of that sunshine. I've known about the Sarah stuff, right? I think what happened in like Chicago or whatever. I heard that story back when we got during the time that we had the extreme cold here. When it was like minus 35, 38 Celsius, minus 34 Fahrenheit, give or take a degree of cold or two, right? And about that stuff, but I haven't heard about this per se. So I might look into that. No, I haven't seen it though. I know. That's what I was saying too. Sunflower in the cold, right? So here's a tip right here. When you're, especially in the cold, right? Whenever possible, and I try to avoid doing this too. This whole like you would see it in the movies, you probably even see it in TV shows or whatever, right? And etc. etc. But try not to, especially if it's cold. If your hands are cold, try not to go do this. Blow into your hands. Blow into your hands. Like I get it. You're like it warms up your hands, right? And maybe you're doing it short term, very short term, right? But don't do that very long term or continuously do that because let's remember, for anyone that's been in winter or seen your breath in when it's colder out, every time you exhale, there's always moisture in it. So every time you go like, you know, blow into your hands or cup your hands together and blow into your hands, right? Yeah, it feels warm, but it's pretty much like steam, and steam has moisture in it, and it will start to condense or liquefy in by your skin or by the gloves you're wearing. So try to avoid that whenever possible. Because when it starts to happen is if it starts to get wet because you're doing it so often and you got to continuously keep doing it after the time because it's the only way to keep warm. So I try to avoid that whenever possible. I mean, I've done that a few times, but trust me, like where my phone was getting cold, trust me, you have to keep doing it because pretty much you're just adding moisture in, and that moisture freezes. Then you're gonna do it again, and yeah. Best thing to do usually is try to get into a warm place. Maybe use hand warmers. You know, maybe friction rub. Put your hand underneath your armpits, right? Because your armpits actually have quite a bit of heat. All right, there's that spot right there, right underneath your armpit. Of course, if you look underneath your armpit, it's just right by your chest, right by your core. So usually in the wintertime, you have your hands down, right? It's just saying getting the cold chill up your armpit isn't so great. It's almost like that cold chill up the spine. But yeah, one of the things I keep in mind: don't blow into your hands whenever possible. If you're wearing gloves, it's better almost just to friction rub it than try to blow into your hands. Because once you blow into your hands like that, like you said, the moisture increases into your gloves, your hands start to get wet, or your gloves start to get wet from the moisture as the water vapor in your breath condenses out. And what happens? The water is going to pull more heat away, and then it kind of increases that heat, the coldness factor, right? The heat escaping from your body. It's almost better to like like I said, put your hands underneath your armpits, back in your pockets, you know. Try to keep moving your digits, your hands, right? Because also your hands are gonna get cold. Extremities are always gonna get cold first in the winter time. Even if it's just barely snowing and just barely freezing. or just below freezing. So there's a tip right there. Take care, sunshine. And it's still afternoon. Although it's probably the sun's pretty has already set. I always think it should be sunset when not sunset. Anyways, the sun has already set it out east. So know what time it is out west. Because it's like 5:30 EST. So, and I'm pretty sure sunset is around 5:30-ish, give or take, whenever time difference, right? Local time. So, and yes, take your sunshine. So if you guys got any my sunshine folks out there have some winter tips of your own, right? To keep in mind, right? You know, let me know. Let me know. Maybe I've heard about them or tried them out myself, right? I mean, I've been outside in pretty snowy conditions at times. Been on trips or whatever in snowy conditions. Even been on the road, right? I remember this one time. It's right before Christmas, actually. Yeah, I think it was around that time, right? Is it around that time or before? Well, it was before New Year's, anyways, right? And me and my friend, we were on a road trip, 8-hour road trip, right? And as we were leaving, it wasn't so bad, right? Because it wasn't snowing here. But as we progressed to our destination, it became more apparent that it was getting more snow on the ground, and it was starting to snow. And by the time we ended, just about an hour, half an hour, maybe about 90 minutes from our destination, final destination, where we were visiting. All right, it was like starting to blow snow, right? And one of these things, because my friend was driving, and they were like, they're like, CR, yeah. Keep an eye on the road. I'm like, yeah. We're in it together, all right. Let's just get there in one piece, right? You know. We made that judgment call to turn on the hazard lights just in case, right? Because visibility was getting reduced quite a bit from the snow, right? Like we were all good, right? We ended up there fine and all that stuff. It was great. It's fine, all right. I think I actually did bring a get home bag. Because technically, I actually did bring a sleeping bag. I actually brought the sleeping bag, so I wouldn't have to like burden the people we were visiting for a blanket. Because we were staying there obviously overnight, or a couple nights at least, right? Because we were there to visit a couple days, right? So instead of bringing a blanket, I brought a sleeping bag. It just happens that sleeping bag could double in the vehicle too. So multifunctional. So yes, when the sleeping bags I have brought out on a trip, it seemed outside, and surprisingly, even though it's not specifically a winter sleeping bag, it has seen the winter time. Because I decided to bring it as a blanket to use as a blanket at a friend's place instead of using their own blanket. I think I even brought a pillow too. I'm thinking this I did because there was a lot more people in that household than I thought there was gonna be. There was like so many people. I'm just like, yeah, maybe this was a good idea. I brought it. I don't have to fight over a blanket or whatever, or to call dibs on one. I'm like, I got my own, right? Just pack it up on the way out, back out when we left. So that was good. Oh wow, you did that, James? That's cool. My gosh, my battery's taking forever to charge up here. I swear, I almost feel like I need to warm up my phone here. I've been reconsidering on like the heat packs for my phone. I mean, because I realized this year when I did try it, because I was in this panel. I tried to join this panel for a time period, back when it was really cold out, minus 22 Fahrenheit, minus 30 Celsius. Even with my phone charging, like with power going in, charging, my battery was still dropping. I mean, now it's a lot less cold than that, but my battery's not charging as fast, but it's still going on. But at that time, when it was really cold, my battery was still dropping significantly fast. How much real time's going by? I'm like, yeah. Now I know why I don't usually record a lot of the winter activities a lot, because I gotta keep the phone warm. Or if I do, it's short clips, and I'm holding the phone, no tripod, right? Because I can't do these walk-away sequences that I've done in, like, if I'm doing them in the spring, summer, fall time, right? When it's warmer out. You know, just like that. Yeah, it's actually been a year now since I showed that one adventure that I walked like 10 kilometers, 6.2-ish, 6 miles in 3 hours when it was like minus 2 Fahrenheit, minus 20 Celsius. With some snow, but it's cleared out later with some sunshine, but it was still cold. Yeah. That was the same time that I realized, I'm like, yep, thank goodness I had a full battery. So I have walked in the wintertime, that's for sure. I take it seriously as much as possible, right? Like on that trip, because I wanted to try getting back home anyway, and doing this walk anyway. Right? It wasn't too bad, but thank goodness I kind of charged up my phone before I left. Like I started that trip that day at 90-some%, and by the time I got home, after recording some sequences and such, I was down to 4%. And I didn't even record that much of the sequence. There's a couple of things I didn't record because it was so real, right? Like basically, I'm recording like maybe 10, 20-second clips, putting it right back in a warm jacket, right away, warm it back up, right? Because I knew the cold would suck the battery so fast, right? Because at that time, I'm like, I didn't bring the battery bank. I didn't have a battery bank with me, so I'm like, I really hope I have enough power. I know, definitely keeping your phone warm definitely helps. Definitely, especially if you don't have external power. Or even if you have external power, it might still help to keep your phone warm. What's up, Jason? How are you doing, man? Nice to see you around. How are you doing, man? Fist bump to you. Nice to see you. Ooh. Ooh. Cool, James. Yeah. Well, I guess it's time for another sample of my coffee here. I actually made this earlier in the day. Let's see how warm it is. This ain't like the best thermos I have here, but hello. Well, at least it's still warm. At least the coffee's still warm for now. I actually have it like just above the ground. It's actually not directly touching the ground, just to keep it warm. All right, I'm pretty sure it's starting to cool down because the outside of the container is starting to get cold. Okay, but hopefully I can keep it warm long enough until I finish the stream, or until I finish it, whichever happens first. Take care, Holly. Thanks for dropping by. Hi, Sunflowers. How are you doing? I can automatically hear Sunflower saying hi to me. Hi, Sia. Remember, I talked to you enough. Is it snow? You got snow out there, don't you, Sunflowers? You must have snow out there. I know it was cold. I know it was cold in that area. But you must have snow on the ground. But you know it's snowing out, well, was or is snowing out east. I've been hearing about this. I know, and like I said earlier, there's snow out in Atlantic Canada right now. A lot more snow than probably people are used to. Probably, you know, taller than like a door handle than you would see on the door, like outside or inside. That's how much snow some of these places have out on the Atlantic side. Although that's probably because of like the wind, the moisture in the air and all that stuff. Obviously, they're by the Atlantic, so drifting snow and all that stuff. Yeah. Aw, look who it is. It's her. It's Lisa. Hi. Growing on Vancouver Island. How are you doing? I kind of mentioned you earlier growing on Vancouver Island. Remember your comment that you said, I didn't know it was possible, CR? I'm paraphrasing a little. I kind of said that earlier. Because they're actually outside with me right now. I'm not actually using them because I'm using fingerless gloves because I need to touch the display on the phone still, but I have them out here with me. They're just sitting right beside me. I can throw them on if I really had to. See, it's not that it's really cold outside for me. It's because I'm actually standing and doing stuff outside for long periods of time. And I'm kind of pacing a little because if I'm going on one of my walks right now, I'd be warm because I'm walking, actively moving my body, walking and stuff. But because I'm just streaming using Wi-Fi and I have no data to run the thing, well, I gotta keep warm by like pacing. Right? But yes, I do actually have the cool that winter gear with me. I appreciated that comment, by the way. Definitely lifted my spirits that day. Appreciated that. Did you wear AT? Mm-hmm. All right, James. So yeah, I swear it took that long to just pick up that much percentage, and I'm like barely even like that high. Like the snow. The little CR that I wrote earlier. CR. We just stomp that out. But yeah, some snow that I have here. Among some other things. Like I said, I usually have like at least 2 or 3 times as much snow by this time in the season. So definitely less snow this season. It's been drier out this winter season. I definitely we did need snow. In spite of faith, right? The snow is going to replenish, the rivers, the lakes here in Canada while we out weather. The aquifers, the underground water supply that we have around these areas and stuff like that. So we need it, and I need to put my phone back in. I don't want my phone getting that cold. I swear I'm surprised it didn't even drop like 5% in me just doing that sequence right there. But yeah, it's definitely, it's probably only like -6, -7, 20 Fahrenheit, give or take. But, like I said, for the longer you've been out, the colder you can get. So it's not like I just came out from a warm environment in the last 5 minutes. I've been actually outside for the last hour now. This is actually why I'm actually a little bit more bundled up than I usually would be. Right? If I was just standing outside or whatever, or if I was going for my walks, that's probably what I'd be wearing at least. But like I said, if I was walking, I'd be moving, right? The generating body heat. So, and that's the thing, right? Too about winter time, especially with cold, right? You got to keep moving, right? Although try not to break a sweat, right? The sweat will evaporate and cool you off. and chill you down. Stuff. You know, this year was definitely a no-go on a Quincy. It's a snow type of shelter or fort, which is different from igloo, by the way. And igloo uses very specific type of snow that's been formed. Big difference. A Quincy type of snow fort usually has snow piled on top of it, then you haul it out. There's a difference. Where an igloo, you make blocks and you build it from the outside. And it's already hollow on the inside because you're using blocks and all that stuff. So there's a difference between an igloo and a Quincy. They're two types of snow shelters, but they're made differently. And generally, you need certain conditions to make an igloo, right? Which I don't have here, especially this year. And I definitely don't have the snow to make a Quincy. I mean, there's no way. I would have to use probably like the whole patch I have just to even make something small enough to even crawl in, let alone make it high enough, right? Or some years, because I've seen it before when I've made some of these air Quincies, I mean, it's like how much snow I needed, and I'm like, there's no way. I would probably have to move snow around just to bring it in, just to actually make it. So I'm like, yeah, it's no go this year. I mean, it's so late in the season, right? If I do decide to make those Quincies, it's usually because we get that early snow that's big enough, long enough, right? So I can actually enjoy or use the Quincy until the spring, and not make it in like 2 weeks before March, and only enjoy it for like maybe 6 weeks instead. So yeah. So I'll probably be going. Let's see. It's recorded here. I'll probably go until the top hour. Because, and besides, I need to take through something anyway. Unlike some other things, and get ready for something else. Because I need to shoot some more video for this later today, since I will have time. I need to set some time for it. I'm trying to drop some more videos soon. Well, they're actually on the channel right now. Or kind of not just related to winter time. I'm trying to put out the winter time videos soon here. Because I figured if I don't post them this month or by the first, maybe even by the second week of March, I'll probably won't be posting them until like the end of the year. Because I just don't think. I just have a feeling that we're gonna get early-ish spring. I'd say early-ish, right? Because even last year, 2023, the snow was all gone by like just after the first week of April. So I managed to get that spring prep work in. So of course I'm breaking that again this year, like usual. I kind of pre-started a few things just because I could, but I'll have to wait again. I need access to the ground because it's covered with snow right now because it just snowed. You know, I went walking the other day, right, and these open areas that I see, right, there was no snow on the ground. I'm pretty sure it's not like that today. I'm pretty sure there's like about half a foot of snow on the ground in these open areas, if not more. Alright, so. Although the next time it starts to warm up, that'll probably melt away pretty quickly. Because most of the snow we've gotten hasn't lingered that long, so it hasn't had a chance to settle or change or form into ice. So it's probably mostly. I'm still saying it's mostly water, but it's not really. There's not. It's probably the difference between like something that's like 70% to like 90%, right? So, because snow will melt faster than ice. So, I'm pretty sure the snow itself will melt fast, just because it's got some air into it. It's not that dense, or it doesn't have the density of ice. I'm pretty sure. Because a lot of the seasons, I go dig in the snowbank, it'd be as hard as ice, right? This time around, I can actually probably dig down the snowbank and reach the ground. So there's not much ice forming underneath the snowbank right now. That would delay the melting of, well, the snow or ice in this case, right, into water. Because usually, sometimes I've seen the snowbanks. Like, I don't get the snowbanks that some of these places on the coastal areas get, right? Because I live inland a little bit more. But I've seen snowbanks, as tall as people, at least once, here, you know, where the snowbank's like 4 or 5 feet for what it is, right? Because it gets plowed off to the side, right? That's how it goes, right? I was just like, yeah. On years like that, now it takes a long time for a snowbank like that to melt, or the temperatures have to be really, really warm for a long period of time. That might have been actually the same year when I saw like 68 Fahrenheit plus 1918 Celsius, and there's icy snow, or what's left of the snow on the ground. Right? It took that long just to melt that, and it was sunny out too, right? But it just took that long. But honestly, anything of this, when the snow melts, as it melts more water develops, and the water will melt the snow itself and expose the darker portions of the snow. So there's gravel, dirt, whatever, cement behind it. It'll start to melt it even faster because the darkness of dirt, the darkness of the gravel will absorb that solar energy a lot faster compared to the white snow. Right? So we're talking in the winter, in the summertime, right? Dark vehicles compared to a more lighter vehicle in color. How's it going? How's it going, man? How are you doing, Glenn? I'm actually surprised you guys down in Florida are like. I know I posted this as Snow Place Like Home with CR. A cool chat in my description, blah, 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 winter, right? Hashtag winter. And so I'm actually surprised you guys are coming by. I'm just surprised, right? Or maybe you guys are like, I'm done cool off in CR's chat. He's talking about winter. It's kind of warm here. Right? Have some heat up here, Glenn. Have a little bit of heat up here. That'd be nice. No, just kidding. It'll eventually get warm here. And hopefully, hopefully this one plant that I have, I'm trying to overwinter can actually come back. I have no idea. Because with the lack of snow pile, it's kind of iffy. I mean, I won't know for sure until it's either going to come back or it's not. So hopefully it does. That'd be nice. Because last year I also had someone come back in the winter, or come back from overwintering. Although I didn't really plan it that one, but this one I planned. Hopefully it does. Hopefully it does. I think I covered it with like pail or something like that, because there was like so much lack of snow, right? So I'm pretty sure there's snow on the side of it right now. I gotta make sure I don't go too far away from my phone here. That's why I actually have the music playing, so I can still hear it. Yeah, there's a little bit of snow cover, so it'll help a little bit. But this spot gets exposed to the south-facing sun. Especially if the dirt gets exposed, and it'll start to melt faster, just because it's a darker surface area compared to snow. There is some snow there now, but hopefully you'll be able to come back and regrow this spring. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed on that one. And you got some rain there going. Yeah. It only cooled down to 60. Oh yeah, 16 Celsius. By the way, for everyone else, it's below freezing here. It's probably in the 20s here, going -6, -7 Celsius. So yeah. Hey, Glenn, let's meet halfway at 50. At 45. At 45, 6, 7 Celsius. I'll meet you halfway. I'll meet you halfway on that one. Okay. Yeah. Hopefully you're doing well, by the way. Hi, Uncle Al. How are you doing, Uncle Al? Hey, Uncle Al, I'm wearing that scarf, by the way. By the way, I'm actually am wearing it right now. It's actually on my face. Because like I said, I've been outside for the last like however long I've been doing the stream, over an hour, over 70 minutes. So yeah. It's not that cold up, but I've also been outside for long periods of time, right? I mean, some of my walks last at least this long when I'm not moving too much. That's why I'm just pacing a little here. I actually realized how warm this was now. One of the things I decided to try out, one of the benefits of actually having the cold happen here is that actually I get to try out the gear when it does happen. Because like back in December, everyone's like, "What? Yeah, you can't wait till it gets cold." I'm like, "Yeah, because I need to try out some gear." Right? Because I've been saying to everyone, I'm like, I can't replicate the cold. Like I can walk into like a freezer aisle, I can walk into a deep freezer, right? But those areas, it's just probably like -10 at the most, right? I need to try out the gear when it's actually really cold here, right? And actually know, or the wind itself, right? And it's not like I'm just like walk into like a department store, a grocery aisle, down the frozen food aisle, and stand there for like an hour. You know what I mean? Just sir, are you okay? You've been standing here for like the last hour. I'm just trying out this scarf. See how warm it is. Right. I don't think that would fly so well. So I figured I'll try this stuff when it's actually kind of colder up, and get the sense of how warm it is for what it is. Right. I mean, my face is not warm with this on. I'm actually getting convinced more about the scarves. At least a version of a scarf like this. I still have my I shouldn't say concerns, but my qualms about the scarf at times. Because one of the things that I don't like is when it gets caught in a zipper. Because you're not paying attention or whatever. And I was never a big fan of those tassels at the end of a scarf either. Because those always seem to me like for fashion instead of function. And they always get caught in the zipper. You know? Because sometimes you're rushing, right? And you didn't notice that it catches in tassels, the zipper, and then your zippers now, and you can't zip it back up until you get back home, and and it's windy out, and you're like, yeah, and you're trying to hold it together, hold the zipper part together while you're walking back home, because you can't zipper it down, and you can't undo it, all right? So yeah, so I decided to change that up and modify the scarf a little bit more. The one I'm wearing was the first prototype that I tried with it, right? And actually, I did this before that extreme cold that we had out west here came, right? So I managed to try it out. I actually have it on right now. And actually, one of my last videos, I actually have it on too. Because I'm actually wearing the same headwear. So, and it was much colder that day when I was doing that trip in comparison to today. I mean, this is like a good 10 degrees warmer. Probably about 20 Fahrenheit warmer. It's definitely warm for what it is. But I started to actually make a second version of it for another one, so hopefully it'll work. I guess we'll see. Wow. You got rain, Uncle. Oh, I gotta flip my camera around here. I'll actually show you. Because I'll ask you that one time. My phone charger. You'll probably be able to see it because it's dark and color and it's. I have it on, Uncle Al. The fingerless gloves because I gotta touch the display. Alright? It's keeping my ears nice and warm. Alright, anyway. I like I said, it's not that I'm cold, it's more like the phone's getting cold. And I get to actively look at the display. Hi, Amanda. Hey, Amanda. You know, I mentioned our little side chat where I said to you to pass the heat over here. Remember that chat that we had? Or on that live stream? I actually mentioned it earlier. I was just like, maybe, wouldn't it be funny if she came by? Ooh, she did. That's funny. I swear, I gotta mention people's stories. Every time I mention people and their stories, they seem to drop by. I noticed that on the stream. How are you doing? Hopefully you're doing well, Amanda. Good. Should be morning, isn't it? I don't know. No. No, it's afternoon, isn't it? It should still be afternoon or early morning for you, isn't it? Tuesday afternoon. It should be like Tuesday afternoon, isn't it? Oh, by the way, they live in Australia, down south in the Southern Hemisphere. So, yeah. Hey, Amanda, come on, pass me some of that plus 30. that 86 plus Fahrenheit degree weather. Pass me some of that. And we stay warm up here in Canada. Yeah. I kind of figured, yeah, it's morning there. Yeah, you're getting your coffee. Yeah, your coffee. I actually have mine too. Oh. And yes, Uncle Al, I have a furnace. I mean, this thing, like, a really furnace by any stretch, but, you know, because it's not a glass-filled, vacuum-sealed one, you know, with a cork at the top kind of deal, right? To hold it. But it does help. It does help. This one's more like, you know, portable, you know, I can almost put it in a pocket. You know, it does fit in a backpack at least, right? Because I actually broke this other furnace by accident. I went with yours because I kind of dropped it. Oops. Yeah. Oops. Yeah, that was my bad on that one. You know, I got to get that one replaced. You know, I have one here at home for like hot water, but I can give it to you if I like it. But this is what I'm using right now is just like for like on the road, portable type of deal. Because the one I use at home for hot water, it's like a 2-liter, 2-quart, 64-ounce type of one, right? Like, you know, you can put boiling hot water in there, and depending how often you open it, even a couple hours, 4 hours later, you open it back up for the first time, it's still piping hot. So, I have that because, right? It's the day-to-day thing anyways, right? But in the emergency, I can use that. If absolutely necessary. Store some hot water if absolutely necessary. Right? So, just in case. I could show you, but it's actually inside. I was still outside. Take care. How's it going? So yeah, hopefully you guys are all doing well. I know I said till the top of the hour, but okay, I'll go till the 90-minute mark on my timer. It's in there 10 minutes. Just because Uncle Al and Amanda, well, came by. I'll give a little bit more time for people to drop by or whatever, right? Makes sense. Yeah. See, I'm wearing fingerless gloves right now, and I can tell I'm losing dexterity. I'm doing the pinky thumb test right now, and I'm like, yeah, I actually have to try a little bit more. In comparison to my bare hand that actually doesn't have the fingerless gloves. I could rub my hands. And like I said earlier, I'm trying to avoid blowing into my hands, like that kind of thing, trying to avoid that. You're putting moisture into your hands. And what happens when your hands get wet from the moisture? It'll cool off even faster, and you got to continue doing that. You know, because there's examples where, for example, number one thing I think, you know, you may hear stories or whatever about less fortunate people. I'll just say it like that, right? I'll bring around sewer drain or a vent, right, to stay warm with, right? One of the things is they actually have to stay there because yes, it's warm, but it's more moisture, and because there's moisture in it, as soon as you leave that spot, it'll condense back out as water, right? Obviously, and the water stones start to evaporate from clothes that you're wearing and cause you to get cold, right? Hence, you know, they do it because they're cold, but they realize they can't leave the area because now the clothes are wet from the steam or from the moisture of that, the moisture of the vent or whatever, right? So usually it's better to try to stay dry and warm whenever possible, right? Because if you're trying to stay warm through moisture or warm steam, yeah, what starts happening, you're not having to stay there the whole time. Because as soon as you leave that area, you're not feel that cold because the moisture is condensing back out as water, and the water's gonna pull heat away from you, especially in the cold. So another reason why I try to avoid blowing into your hands in the winter when it's cold. It's one thing. It's one thing. If hey, I can go back into a vehicle, I can go back into home, I can go back into a building, I can go back into my office, I can go back into the shopping center, I can go back into I got hot hands in the vehicle right next to me. I can change into the gloves, right? I've only been outside for like 20 minutes, right? And I'm going back inside in the next 5 minutes. That's one thing. But if you're walking home, and it's like you're not going to be in a quote-unquote sheltered area or in a warm environment for the next like 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, an hour or two. Yeah, I would avoid doing that. Because, yeah, try to avoid that whenever possible. I've done that. I've done it a few times in the winter here, and it sucks. Because once you start doing it, you have to keep doing it. Because it's the way it is. But, I mean, I was almost home, and I just didn't want to do it, right? And that was also a good reminder to wear adequate clothing outside when you're outside in the winter, or in the cold, or when it's snowing, right? Hi, Vanessa Kitty. Take care, Uncle Al. James, I have the daydreaming music playing on the StreamYard side right now. And remember, I'm wearing a headset and I have stuff over my ears right now. So if you're hearing certain little things, it may be because I'm moving with my head, or it's what you're hearing from the daydream, quote unquote, background music. Because I don't have a separate player device playing the stream, so I have no idea. You guys have to let me inform me of it, right? So I tried to turn it down, but yeah. I gotta cover my ears while I'm outside. Or else I start getting that frostiness. My ears are starting to get cold. So. Because I bet if I changed it back to the phone mic, you probably wouldn't hear it. If it came from that. So yeah. So, but I'll go for, like I said, I'll go for another 5 minutes. I appreciate everyone dropping my see, but Kitty, Amanda, Uncle Al, Sunshine came by earlier. SD, sunflowers, growing on Vancouver Island. Of course, James is still sticking in with me here. He's been sticking in for the longest with me, keeping me company and all that good stuff. Appreciate it. It's all good. Nice. So in the last couple minutes, I'll actually do the stream outside. Well, actually outside. like I said, it's not that I'm cold. It's actually the phone's cold. I'm worried more than that the phone's gonna get too cold and my battery's just not just plummet so fast. I mean, I have no issues of streaming during the day when it's cold per se, but it's more the device. Yeah. So when it comes to snow, right? To reintegrate a little, but more frequently, right? Don't exert yourself, right? Always, if you're hand shoveling, lift with your legs, right? Don't use your back, right? Injuries happen like that, right? You know, if you're more elderly, you know, maybe it's like a heart condition or whatever, right? Take it easy, right? Because shoveling snow, especially by hand, is strenuous because you're pushing frozen white rain. I'm gonna say it like that, aka snow, right? And sometimes that snow can be heavy. It's not always nice and fluffy, right? Nice and light and fluffy, right? It's a couple inches, but it's nice and fluffy. Sometimes it's a couple inches and it's really heavy. And especially if you're, it's one thing to do like a little deck or whatever, or a sidewalk, but if you have to do a driveway or some longer piece of area, that snow starts to add up, right? It starts to add up. Because 1 cubic meter of water, or 3.28 cubic feet of water, weighs 1 ton. So, you know, imagine the snow. Well, you can't because I'm not showing it right now. But imagine if all that air was removed from that snowbank that actually. I'll show you. Hold on. I gotta switch my camera back around again. All right. Hopefully, I'll use this power off. I guess I'm at 87. Illustrate this point here. Right? If there was less air in this, with more water, with just more of the water, right? Basically, it'd be ice, but it would weigh a lot more because it'd be more condensed, right? Similar to if you try rolling a snowman or a snow person, right? It gets heavy trying to push that, right? For anyone that's been a snowman, there's a certain point where it gets really difficult just to roll it, just because you're compressing the air out of it, so it condenses the water, and you're removing air, and it gets heavier, right? Where it starts to weigh that, 50-pound, well, whatever, right? If you're so heavy that you can't even roll it. And it rolls over. So yes, I think my 2-minute warning here on this trip. So I appreciate everyone dropping by and considering my snow tips that I gave. A couple of stories. I'll probably reintegrate some stories later on and such, right? I'll probably go back inside and have a nice warm brew. Pick my morale with hot brew. Maybe some warm soup or something like that. I do have something that I might. I do have. Or eat something or whatever, make some soup. Maybe some tomato soup. I think that sounds good right now, actually. That sounds pretty good right now. So, everyone, I appreciate everyone dropping by like usual, right? On this, right? Like usual. And, I'll just throw this in for the whole. Come on, show. One of these, right? If you find value in what you're hearing from me, you like DIY, alright? You like to hear some tips about stuff, right? Winter, summer, camping, whenever, all this stuff. Right. Not only drop me one of those encouraging emoji thumbs up, free to join me on this adventure, join me on this travel, right? Keep me company, metaphorically speaking. Or I could just say subscribe in, but what I said earlier, the former sounds a little bit better than the latter half. So I appreciate you all dropping by here. And like always, everyone, take care out there and do something awesome. Go create something awesome out there, right? You guys can all create something awesome out there. Even if it's a little at a time. A little bit more knowledge, a little bit more skill, a little bit more experience, a little bit more gear to go with all that stuff too. And things are happening out there. Like we can adapt too. We're not adapt with everything out there, right? But try to help someone if you can. Anyways, everyone, take care. Stay warm. Don't exert yourself. Start getting ready for the springtime because winter's eventually gonna fade away. Winter's not gonna linger that much longer. Hopefully. I know Groundhog Day just went by, but hopefully not that much longer. But in the meantime, let's be ready for it and let's get ready for the springtime. And I'll catch you all next time. Take care, everyone. Peace out from CR.